All right. Now, we all know what happened, or I'm sure you read the thumbnail, and you can look up at your screen. The main event has been canceled. The main event has been canceled. This is a huge blow to WMMA centered content creators. This is a bad look. And I suspect Macy Barber has just ruined her flyweight career. Nobody gonna trust you to make flyweight again. You gotta go up to 135. Hold up a second. It's not just Erin Blanchfield. Remember, at the after this happened, Erin heard somebody in her team or somebody was talking about rescheduling it, and they were like, "No, she'll just put you through the same thing again." Excuse me. So, but it's not just Erin who's going to be worried about her being unable to make weight and to make it to the fight. Other fighters are going to have the same concern. Like, oh, no, I don't want to fight that girl. You know, matchmakers call up the other fighters. Hey, we got a fight for you, Macy Barber. Like, no thanks. Girl can't even make 126. So, you got to imagine that UFC, the people, the higher ups, are going to have a sit down with Macy. She just ruined the main event. People already were skeptical of this being the main event. And we just lost the main event. It's hard for me to not hear them suggest to her, go up to 135. Because they don't want this to happen again either. They just lost money. That's a bad look for the company. That's bad business, period. You know, to have one fight called off is bad enough. But the main event, the fight that was heavily promoted heaviest, and with many fans and other casuals, the main event is oftentimes the only fight that they're even aware of. So to have a female fight as the main event is a big deal. You're supposed to take that seriously. And really, if you're a UFC fighter, you gotta take your career seriously. Now, hopefully Macy is okay. I heard she had seizures, and it had to have been bad. It had to have been serious, because who would want this to happen? You know, you can't even say that Macy got scared. Nobody could say that. No way that she would have wanted this to happen. So what would actually probably happen, this girl almost killed herself. Because I heard that she walked out and then she had to go back. She, no doubt, would have tried to fight sick. Or semi-sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, it's the main event. We can't ruin this card. I know you feel horrible. Maybe you just had a seizure or you threw up or whatever. We're going to fight anyway. Went out there. Erin bopped her across the head a few times. And Macy Barber falls unconscious and never wakes up. That could have very well happened. Y'all having seizures? Bop you across the head, and you have a seizure right there in the cage. Could you imagine? No, she has to move up. I don't know what Macy is doing. I can't imagine it's anything other, unless she has a medical condition, which is, I'm not aware of that. Then she has an issue with her body and her diet. It's her diet, man. No matter what your body is doing, you should be able to modify you will be able to modify your diet so that you don't get, and if you're an athlete, your lifestyle keeps weight off. All you have to do is have a clean diet. Just going to training 3 days a week. Don't you understand that's a lot more exercise than a lot of people do who claim to go to the gym on a regular basis? That's basically what these fighters do. Their lifestyle is to go to training every day, 5-6 days a week. And from what I understand, multiple times a day. That keeps weight off you. All you have to do at that point is stay on a clean diet every single day of your freaking life. Even between fights. No shortcuts. No burgers. No pizza. No cake. No nonsense like that. If that's what you got to do, if your body responds negatively to that kind of food, keep it out your diet. You got to stay on a fight camp diet permanently. Permanently. Now, it was not her diet that caused this. It was her trying to, she obviously tried to lose too much weight in a short period of time, which is what they all do. That's what they all do. If you keep your body weight low between fights, you're not going to have this problem. The issue is that fighters don't want to do that. They want to eat. They want to chill out. They want to live, have fun, especially when you're young, 19. You got to be like a Zen Buddhist to have Shevchenko-like discipline. Remember, Barbara got signed when she was 19 years old. She was signed to the UFC. So they caught her at an immature age, and she was not, on that level as far as discipline. She had to move up to 135. And I guarantee you, she can still make 115. If there's nothing wrong with her medically, she can still make 115. If she just can't make these weights and she got to move up to 135, there's no doubt at 135 she's going to look big and blubbery. She ain't going to look athletic at all. So that was unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Now this is horrible. Macy talking all that smack about I never pull out of fights. That was other than for medical reasons. That's all you need to pull out of fights for. That don't make it no better. Now, you got to look at Macy from a medical standpoint. What in the world is going on with her? She is not staying in shape between fights. I mean, you don't hear other fighters going through stuff like this. And Barbara's never said that she had any type of medical condition. She just wants us to accept that she gets sick. Oh, I get sick, and okay, why? She acting like it don't matter. Yeah, it does matter, because maybe you're the reason why you're getting sick. Maybe you have a lack of discipline. Maybe that's why you're getting sick. And if you don't have a medical condition, it's a lack of discipline. There's no way around that. And for it to be this bad, that's ridiculous. For you to let your body weight get so high that you had to try to cut so much weight that you went into having seizures, that's ridiculous. So I don't know what she's going to do. I don't know what we'll see. But unless she explains otherwise, that is what happened. She balloons up between between fights so much that the 3 months or 2 months or the fight camp is not long enough for her to lose as much weight as she needs to lose to make weight. So at the tail end, she tries to cut a bunch of weight all at the last minute. And that is where you harm yourself, harm your body, and you put yourself at risk for stuff like this. You having seizures? Jeez. So you know what she's doing. No water intake at all. They probably got her chewing gum, bubble gum, to produce saliva and having her spitting non-stop, just wrapped up in that little heat thing where she's sweating non-stop, killing yourself, draining all your fluids out your organs and whatnot. They shouldn't even allow this. That's one area where one has a huge advantage over the UFC. Why allow and basically make it a part of your protocol for fighters to do something this drastic to their body right before a fight? Now, I believe several people have talked about this before already. You do something, you basically torture your body and then fight the next day. Unbelievable. You should be in the healthiest condition of your life and then fight. You should be well hydrated, feeling good, feeling excellent, and on weight, and then have your fight. And when you do it like that, that's when you're looking out for the health of your fighters first. So, yeah, unfortunate, man. They was talking all that smack, and I was looking forward to this fight. We already see how rare it is for chicks to talk smack. Y'all talking this smack, and hey, I was entertained. We had a little criticism. There was always going to be critics when there's a female. Well, not always. When Weili fights, people respect it. Shevchenko, people usually respect. But when it's like a Macy Barber, you're going to get heavy criticism. And this is one of the things you really need to try to avoid. Y'all are not men. Men can get away with this nonsense. Women have to keep a certain amount of water and, fat on them. So, dangerous game. Now, moving on. I put a poll up. Let me refresh this. And I'm going to do this. Or I'm going to try to remember to do this after all fights. How many stars would you award Rayan Santos versus Elise Ardeline in terms of entertainment? And I got 4, and I prefer 4, but I'm only able to put 4. It's only able to go from 1 star to 4 stars. They only give you 4 columns. But I prefer 4 because it's broken into quarters, and I prefer quarters, quarterly scale. And most people look like gave it 4 stars. I gave it 4 stars. I thought that fight was a classic. I thoroughly enjoyed that fight, even though I did have some complaints, and I still have some complaints. That was basically a boxing match inside of the cage, and that's my only complaint. I would have liked to have seen more kicks because nobody was using them. I think I remember a leg kick here and there, maybe 1 or 2 of them. That was pretty much a boxing match. I mean, few elbows, spinning back fists. There wasn't much variety even in the boxing arena, but that's a minor complaint. Like, I was glued to the television. I was. Girls, a lot of times, they try to avoid excessive damage to their face. And what they'll opt to do is sort of what you saw Macy Chiasson do. Sort of what you saw Ketlen Vieira do. They'll opt to try to take you down so they can lay on top of you and reduce the amount of shots they absorb to their face. You see, and that way they could still look pretty after the fight, and they just don't like to get hit in the face and start bleeding like that anyways. So when they are comfortable with, drilling each other in the face for 15 minutes, that's always a plus. I'm impressed. Whether women do that or men, I'm impressed. And they were so fixated on each other's face, there's very few body shots, even punches. That was just like a head-hunting Ali type thing. All they saw was each other's face in there, and that's all they had threw, and all they had to throw was knuckles. Watching the fight live, I thought it was closer. I thought it was a close fight, but I thought Ardeline had more control over the fight, especially with her jab. She really kept Dos Santos in check with that lead left jab. And Ardeline had that pistol-like straight right hand, just in case Dos Santos crept into that zone, into the range. You heard Dos Santos' corner saying, watch the right hand. They kept saying that. Watch the right hand. Whereas on the flip side, Ardeline really didn't have to worry about the right hand from Dos Santos. And she should have, because she was holding her left hand down. She was wide open for a right hand. But Dos Santos, her right hand wasn't that effective. More straight shots from Ardeline. The pressure, combine that, she won the fight. Also, according to the stats, she landed the majority of significant strikes, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, because that's what wins fights. And she won the fight, man. That fight is worth watching again, in my opinion. I was entertained. I don't know about nobody else, but I was entertained. That was the WMMA fight of the night, easily, in my opinion. And it would have held its own on the card with Joanna versus Wei Li, in my opinion. Which, again, was basically a boxing match inside the cage. But there are a lot more kicks in that fight. But they were sort of similar type fights. Both ended up bleeding from the face by the third round. I thought it was that was a pretty violent fight, an entertaining fight. So yeah, salute to them. I thought they brought some respect to the card and to WMMA with that performance. And the other fight, the only other fight, you heard me mention Macy going for takedowns. She went for takedowns because she didn't want to strike with Ketlen Vieira. And I sort of didn't expect that. Ketlen almost always wants to strike with you. She wants to box with you. And her punches seem to frighten Macy. One thing people don't talk about, Ketlen seriously targets her opponent's faces with her boxing, with her punches. She is very accurate. Extremely accurate, Ketlen Vieira. That's why she opts to box. Even though supposedly she's a judoka specialist, she prefers to box in all of her fights. And that is why she prefers to box. she realizes that most girls don't have her hands. Another thing, I tell you what, had she not got knocked out, she would have gave Irene Aldana all kinds of problems. Irene just happened to catch her early. But Ketlen throws hellacious combinations. And she almost always throws in combinations. That's what makes her so dangerous with her hands. And girls don't like it. It so annoys them to deal with combinations. That's one of the secrets about WMMA. That it seems Ketlen is one of the only few fighters that figured it out. Women in general do not like to deal with combinations. It totally freaks them out. And I'm talking about female fighters. They don't like it. And I'm telling you, that gives Ketlen a huge advantage, even though she's relatively slow with her hands. Just like several boxers, even though she's not the fastest with her hands, her accuracy and timing makes up for it. And she has very good accuracy and timing for a woman. It's not on the male's level, but it's very good timing and accuracy. And man, it was disappointing because I thought Macy was doing well. I'm sitting watching, enjoying the fight. Yeah, I thought Ketlen had a bit of an advantage on the feet, but I thought Macy was just going to deal with it and try to advance, what she was doing in there. And that is what I would like to ask Macy and her team. What in the world was their game plan? What was their original game plan? She came out circling the cage. I'm like, okay, what in the world is she doing? She came out circling the cage almost as if she expected Ketlen to dive in for takedown. I didn't expect Ketlen to do that. So when the fight first started, I'm like, okay, why is she doing this? I didn't expect Macy to start the fight like that. Because I didn't expect Macy to be taken down. Ketlen never wants to just jump in there and take you down. She wants to strike. She wants to box. Punch you in the face. And Macy came out circling, landing leg kicks. Now, when she started landing those leg kicks, I'm like, okay, good stuff. It looked to me like Macy was doing the exact same thing she did in training, whatever she was doing in training, as the game plan for Ketlen Vieira. Circle, circle, leg kick. Circle, circle, leg kick. And Ketlen was missing her shots. At first, I thought Ketlen was getting frustrated. I'm like, okay, this is about to be easier for Macy than I thought it would be. But then, man, listen. Once Macy started feeling so many of those punches come within millimeters of her face, you saw how she was ducking. She had to duck and move and really stoop down. She had to be extremely mindful of those punches because this is another thing. Ketlen not only throws combinations, she throws them as counters. That is so frustrating to deal with, even in professional male boxing. A male boxer who counters using combinations, most counter strikers throw one single counter. Like Shevchenko, it's like one single counter. Ketlen almost always makes sure that her counters involve combinations. It was driving Macy up. It drove her, and she lost all confidence in her striking. Started going for takedowns, and the thing is, she went for the stupid takedown and got the worst of it. Ended up trying to get back up. And that brought the excitement down in the fight. I thought the first round was a good first round. But then here Macy, as soon as the second round start, it seemed like the her corner told her go for a takedown. As soon as you go out there, went out there, tried to tackle. Ketlen ended up on bottom, and then she couldn't get up. And then Macy or Ketlen was not really punishing her. Ketlen's ground and pound is not the best. She don't have Kayla Harrison type elbows where it's real brutal punishment like that. When Ketlen's on top and inside your guard, it's just a clubbing, type of beating. No real submission attempts. Ketlen which is crazy. Wasn't that many submission attempts. And that brought the value of the fight, of the entertainment down for a lot of people. For a lot of people, myself included. I wanted to see more out of this fight. I wanted to see more, and they had more to offer. You saw in the last few seconds of the fight, Macy started to fight the way she should have been fighting the whole fight. Now, don't have no respect. And that's what's going to eat at Macy. I bet you. She should have been fighting the way she fought in the last few seconds of the fight, the whole fight. Not having no respect for Ketlen's construct. Willing to punch and bash and break right through it. And going at her. That's how she should have been fighting. That's how you fight those combination counters. They looking for a little weak strike that they can counter. But they can't counter if you bulldozing into them and really giving them the business. You also notice Macy stopped circling. She stopped circling all of a sudden and then started to walk forward on Ketlen. Almost totally changed her style. And when she did that, I'm like, okay, what is this? This wasn't part of the plan. So Macy went in there freestyling. I don't even think they had a game plan for Ketlen Vieira. I seriously doubt it. They didn't even have a game plan for that girl. So Ketlen was able to stay on top of her the whole second round, clubbing, just beating on her. Macy couldn't get up. Macy comes out in the third round and does the exact same thing. Immediately goes for a takedown, gets bullied, and it ends up on bottom the whole round. That's the bad part of this fight. They could fight 1,000,000 times. Macy can't beat Ketlen. She's not going to beat Ketlen. Ketlen's better on the feet and on the ground. On the feet and on the ground. And it was just crazy how much Macy lost confidence in her striking. It's like, really? You'll come out in the second round, immediately go for a takedown. But once you realize that once she's on top of you, you can't get up, I would think she would stop trying to go for takedowns. But no, she went in the third round and did the same thing. Immediately went for a takedown. So it's like, no confidence. I can't strike with this girl. I can't strike with Ketlen Vieira, and I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to try. And that was mind-blowing to me. Why not try? She hadn't spent that much time. Yeah, one round, but you were circling most of the round. You change up your techniques. Try something. I always thought, look, man, Ketlen's too good on the ground to keep taking. See, Macy wanted to do the same thing to Ketlen that she did to Mayra Bueno Silva. Get her down and cut her open with some elbows. That's a lot harder to do with Ketlen. Ketlen got all kinds of fancy tricks for you. You saw some of them in that fight. Gonna have you tripped up. Ketlen be doing stuff, man. She'll grab odd parts of your body and maneuver you. Ketlen is good on the ground. You should have left that alone and tried to beat her on the feet. That's what I thought Macy was going to do. Because Macy on the feet can get awkward and real unpredictable and awkward. And I thought that would be a good style for against Ketlen. But it didn't turn out that way. But that was a sort of a lackluster fight. That was a lackluster fight. Too bad. Now, about this fight, because I don't think they're going to reschedule this fight. They're not going to reschedule this. And I don't think Erin and her team would want to reschedule this fight. But I don't believe that's necessary. Macy would have lost. Erin was just going to beat on this girl for 5 rounds. You know, Macy does not deal with strikers who have a calculated style, who are aggressive themselves and won't fold under your flurries. That's how Grasso was. Grasso would not fold under Barber's little spoiled brat flurries that she throws. Grasso threw punches back and clocked her and put a stop to all of that. And I think Erin would have done the same thing. Remember, Erin really was dealing with Rose on the feet. Wasn't it the last round or maybe the fourth? Erin came out just teeing off on Rose. She spent a large portion of this fight striking with Rose. Do y'all really think Barber is that level of a striker? I don't. I don't think Barber could have done that well. You know, Barber excels against fighters who strike like Jillian Robertson. No power, and you fold, you turtle, you cover up under Macy Barber's flurries, those brat flurries. Remember, her fight against Ketlen, or Chiasson, or whatever new name is, that was a close fight. And Barber was looking silly in a lot of moments in that fight. So I don't think it's necessary. I think Erin would have won this fight. I think Barber would have found it too difficult with Erin on the ground because remember, Barber could not bully Grasso on the ground. Most fighters, Barber can't get them to the ground and beat them up and finish them. That's why she's getting all these decisions. She was not about to get Erin down, and in my opinion, she was not about to outstrike Erin. Do y'all think Barber would have been in there against Rose landing leg kicks to the head? Kicks to the head like this. Do y'all think Barber would have been in there doing this to Rose? I don't. I don't think Barber would have went in there against Rose throwing and landing combinations. Spent all that time striking with Rose and actually winning exchanges. Barber needs to get you against the fence and tee off on you. She's not a calculated striker, Macy Barber. She throws these windmills after windmill after windmill. Just look at her fights. Left, wild, overhand, looping punch. Right, wild, overhand, looping punch. Left, right, left, right. The exact same punch every single time. And she'll just walk forward as she's throwing these haymakers. Haymakers. Erin said it herself. She said, yeah, she throws good looping punches. Because that's her offense. I mean, If she catch you with it, you're in trouble. She usually don't catch anybody. You can see him coming a mile away. You remember Ketlen or Chiasson? She was waving to her mother in the crowd in between Macy's combinations. She was breakdancing in there, waiting for Macy to throw another punch. Barbara is not good on the feet, man. She's not. So I don't know where she's gonna go from here. I'm interested to see, because I don't remember the last time anything like this. I don't remember the last time it happened with the females. But she needs to move up, man. If this how she's rolling, if this how she's gonna roll, you need to be at 135. And how well do you think Macy will do at 135? And here's the thing. I think a lot of those flyweights need to be at 135. But they don't want to. Because those girls at 135, they know a lot of them cut down and that they're actually extremely big. In this fight, you saw how big Ketlen and Macy were. Ketlen looked huge in there. And why was this fight at 145? Ketlen couldn't make weight, right? Yeah, Ketlen couldn't make weight. So I guess she contacted Macy and her team, and they negotiated a catch weight. But it's bad when you can't make 135. That's the thing. Some of those girls don't even belong at one. Some of them should be at 145. UFC and their divisions, they're all screwed up, man. They need to get their stuff together. That company is ran like a bunch of illiterate rednecks running it. Anyway, that is all that happened. Somebody said Macy Barber throws air balls and has no head movement. Basically, I will land my plane there.